Hey guys, Cyndaf here, and welcome to something that I haven't played in a while, and a game that is actually rather old, but has just had a mod released that updates the UI, gives it a complete overhaul of the UI and the graphics of the game to modern standards, and it is called Uplink, a hack 'em up style game. I believe the first of the hack 'em up style games before whatever the other one came out was called. But this is Uplink Trust No One, I think is the full title. But anyway, it's just called Uplink, and we're going to have a little run through it. I'm not particularly good at Uplink, I must admit, and you will probably get annoyed with the sound of me typing away at my keyboard, because you do have to put in a lot of commands using, well, pretty much all the commands using your keyboard. You have to type them in. This game was released in 2001, I believe, by Gremlin Interactive, unless I am mistaking that for something I was looking up last night, which I believe was Utopia, Rise of or Birth of a Nation, which was by Gremlin. I can't remember. Right, anyway, let's get into it and just create a... it doesn't really matter what the password is, but let's at least just have a password. Make it seem all official like, and well, it's just for the show of the game, really. Now I get to choose where I'm based out of, so I can be based out of Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, London, Moscow, Tokyo, is that Hong Kong, and Sydney. Let's be based out of London because I am, of course, British. And there. The gateway computer will cost me 300 credits a month, and that is the standard gateway. The gateway being the computer that I connect to do all of my dirty hacking business. And UplinkOS was successfully installed. This is the mod, UplinkOS. Right, thank you. Would you like to run the tour guide? Yeah, go for it. We might as well do the tour guide for... just in case anyone watching this hasn't seen Uplink before or heard of Uplink before. We might as well... and do refresh myself onto where everything is based. Although I believe my FPS counter is blocking some things up here in the top left. You can't see it, but I can. Okay, we can click and drag windows just like a regular computer. You can find the system bar, which lets you access your gateway. I'm guessing it is this one. System information, yeah, that would be that one. The task manager? Is that the task manager? That's my account, my user information. Okay. And then how much processing power I'm using. That's the app manager. My bank account number and the time speed controls. At the bottom of the screen you'll find the apps menu, which is this one. I have no apps. My file manager and my email client. Well, that's my notes. So that's a lie. Emails are over here. More will be available there upon purchasing the necessary upgrades. There's 39 steps in the tour. Wow, okay. This is my connection map. In the middle of the screen I can find the browser to what I'm connected to. I need to complete a test mission. I'm finding the missions tab. Yeah, okay. Let's not follow the tour guide anymore. Right, what we got? A standard welcome email. Get rid of that. and the missions, the Uplink test server. Access the file server and download the target file. Let's move that somewhere else. Remove any traces of your hack and return the data to us. So what we're going to have to do first, though, is access the internal services system. Okay, let's log into the internal services system for Uplink and use my username and password that I put in, and here we go. We don't need to bounce a connection to the Uplink internal services because they know we are working for them. But what we need is some apps. We need the decryptor, I think. That's a file decryptor. We need a password breaker. That's what we need. Password breaker. We don't need a decipher or a decryptor just yet. We need a password breaker. So let's buy that. So there you go. Password breaker under the crackers. There's also the dictionary hacker. But you know, it's not guaranteed to actually work. We don't need bypasses. We need security. Yeah, we need the old trace tracker and the log deleter because we need to remove any traces of my hack. Don't need anything out of LAN. Don't need any of those just yet. Don't need bypasses. I suppose that's so I can actually see. Don't need any HUD connectors, but we need the log deleter. Let's get the trace tracker first. Let's choose a better model. What's our currency at? 1500. So let's get the trace tracker version 2 and the log deleter. We can only get the version 1. So there we go, log deleter. We also need the... I don't actually believe the downloader is a tool anymore. You used to have to actually get an app that lets you download files. Just making sure that's HUD analyzer stuff, that's bypasses for security systems, that's security on my end for disabling firewalls and proxies, and logs, that's the trace tracker, which we have, that's LAN stuff, which we don't need anything of, and that's the IP and voice analyzer, which we don't need any of that either. So we can get hardware upgrade. We can upgrade our gateway, which is the machine we're using to run all the hacks from. Processors, more memory, modems, security for the gateway itself. We can upgrade the gateway to a bigger machine because you start off with this little tiny tower thing that can hold barely anything. You can get up to like massive personal servers to run your stuff off, but obviously when you purchase a gateway it only comes with the standard. It comes with a base set of hardware, which is what I'm currently running now in mine, which is terrible, and then you have to buy upgrades for it. But anyway, we are to do the test mission, so we need to log off from here. We need to find the test machine, which is here. But what we can do is to make it easier to do the hack, we can bounce our connection around. between other machines. And a couple of these are, yeah, okay. So we connect. We won't be arrested or anything if we should be traced on this one, but start the test. So what we need to do is start the trace tracker, which we're going to put up there, and get the old password breaker out and run that. I believe we can actually do that. Dedicate more CPU power to the trace tracker. Right, we need to access the file server. Download that. Which is sure as hell taking a while. And our trace monitor is still working, it's just not particularly efficient. But we need all the system resources to get this download completed rather than monitoring how well we're being traced. And that's that done. And the trace is at 60%. Oh, Jesus. Right. We just need to view the logs. Get the old log deleter out. Okay, we just do it on the old right click. Okay, this this takes a lot longer than it used to. I'll tell you that. And we are about to be traced. So, we got traced. We did, however, get the test data and deleted the log saying that we downloaded the file. All they know is that we logged in and accessed the file server. But we need to reply to the email and attach the uplink test data. And that's the mission complete. You are now a beginner. And we can now take missions from the Uplink team. No, the Uplink guys. The guys who run the place. However, since we couldn't even attack the test machine with our current number of bouncers, that was a little disastrous. But let's see what missions we can do. We also have a file we don't need anymore, so delete that. So that needs at least 40% resources to function. Which is not good. What is our gateway comprised of? A 60 GHz CPU, a 1 gigaquad, which is what the GQs is, I believe, anyway, a router, and 24 GQs of memory with up to 32 supported. So it doesn't look like our CPU has a maximum, it just requires one slot. So we could probably upgrade the CPU. Okay, yeah, well we can, oh, right, the legs. However, that requires more money than we have. We could upgrade the modem, which would let us, I suppose, transfer data quicker. However, we can't afford that either. And we can't really afford any storage either. So we are basically stuck with a baseline gateway. Well, almost baseline gateway. Until we do some missions, and hopefully don't get busted in the process. Since you can't upgrade the password breaker, let's get some missions. Find and destroy crucial data on a mainframe. Right, well, we can either destroy or we can steal. Depending on the kind of hacker we want to be, I suppose. I'm guessing the stealing would make us a... well, there's no real good or bad to hacking. Hacking for personal gain is always bad. However, we could either be like a destructive hacker or a non-destructive hacker, I suppose. However, that does require downloading said files rather than deleting them. But you know what? Let's go for the non-destructive variant. Still research files, difficulty 2. And it's only like 2 GQs of space. That's a 3 GQ, so they require us to talk to them. Who is the target? That's not really helpful, is it? How secure is it? Low. Okay. More money? Maybe? Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's talk to these guys. Of course, you wouldn't want to reveal who the target is before I take the job, because why would you? Right, let's do that one as well. And that was what, 1 for 3 here. We can just immediately accept that one. And maybe a 4th one. Not a destroy files, please. How about this one? For 2 grand. There we go. Now we've got 4 missions. That should give us a sizable amount of money. Right, let's disconnect. We may need some more bounces though. So, let's move you out of the way. To do that, I believe we can connect to Internic, the information center. And get us some more IPs to bounce between. Let's see, let's have... That wasn't actually what I wanted to do. What I want to do is just add their IP address to my machine. So if we bookmark them, we want sort of banks and federal terminals because they're less likely to give up information on a potential trace. So things like this and internal service machines rather than public access servers. Let's have this one, and let's have another bank. An ARC access terminal. Whatever that is. Right, that should be enough. So a couple more. mean, there's the Uplink International Bank, which I believe lets us take out a loan if we needed one. Although apparently I already have one. But it lets us take out another 1,000 worth of a loan. So okay, let's do one of these missions. So this one, which is Global Tech Internal Services Machine. So let's do this one first. We have the space. Yes, we do. What's free? 20. 9, I think, is actually what's free. So our first jump wants to be the test machine. Unless, of course, it got deleted. The Uplink test machine. No, it is bookmarked. I'm going to favourite the Uplink test machine. There it is. Because we want to connect to this one easily to remove our logs for connecting to someone else. Because they can just trace us back to my machine, which would be less than ideal. So we need somewhere that we can easily access to delete our logs. So I bounce between all of these and to Global Tech Internal Services Machine, where we need this file. And we need our password breaker. Which is going to require more CPU than I can actually reasonably give it, but we don't really have a choice if we actually want it to run. There we go. Right, let's put that back up. We need to go to the file server. We need to find GlowData 5107 and download it. That is a quick trace right there. We are actually going to get seen, aren't we? Because apparently this game has just become even harder than I remember it. Right, disconnect. We got it. I don't know what the trace was at, but we got it. The wheel wasn't fully traced because otherwise we would have been booted off. So what we need to do is now connect to the Uplink test machine. And we don't need to crack the password because we already have it. We don't need the file server. Sorry, we need the logs. Now we need the... We need to just delete logs. We need to delete these logs actually. Is what we need to do. And delete the logs, saying that we delete the logs. And there we go. I mean, there's also the console where you can do stuff as you would in a regular BIOS, but like file deleting. And there we go. And we just need to reply to this, attach that, and send it for the money. And that's that complete. And that's 2,000 credits. So, that was frightfully close to actually being traced there. Which of course then removes... no, there they are. They're still there. So I believe we need another couple of bounces before we can actually do this properly instead of getting traced. Because being traced is not a good idea. Because they do send the old police after you. They seize your gateway and you get arrested. And of course, Uplink being an upstanding company, sort of disavow you and go, yep, he's not with us. And you get thrown under the bus. The Uplink's credits machine, just in case you want to watch the credits. Let's have those two as well. Right, let's try these others. Right, do we actually have... That's broad computers. Sometimes a mission is in the same place. That's Unity Industries, that's Broad Computers, and that is Vauxhall Corporation Internal Services machine. Unfortunately, all three of them are in different places. Sometimes you can get missions that are in the same place and you can just copy over more than one file. However, we want the Vauxhall Corporation Internal Service machine, which is this one. And let's go. Right, we need our password breaker again. Unfortunately, it requires so much processing power. It's almost ridiculous. I guess the original Uplink was too easy, so although the original Uplink actually had music. Although I might have it turned off. I don't actually know. I didn't check, to be honest. I did not check any options. And we're in. Right, let's get the old trace tracker running so I can see where we are. Vox data 43253. 43253. Download. It's fine, we've got plenty of time. I may even be able to access the logs and delete them at this rate. Can I get into the logs? Not without... I'm not sure I'm going to be able to delete all the logs in time, to be honest. Would be nice if I could, wouldn't it? Although the trace is only at 37%, so I may actually have time to delete all of these logs. Okay, it's getting a little high now. We'll still have to delete the logs on the test server because they'll still perform a passive trace after I disconnect. Plenty of time, like that. Although I still will leave a log saying I disconnected, but you know. They can't prove I did anything else. But, you know, as is the usual, we get back and delete the logs from the test bench. We view the logs. We delete this one. With the higher versions of the log deleter, these big old log deleted bits actually disappear. Since I'm using the log deleter version 1, the version 2 just leaves a blank space, and then the higher versions actually cover up the fact that you delete any logs. But this is fine because we deleted the route log, so although with these log deleted bits, if anyone comes in with a log undeleter, they can just undelete them. But I don't think that happens with a standard passive trace. So we just need to attach that data and send it. We are now a novice. We also have a couple of files we don't need anymore. I appreciate Skype just doing what it wants to do in the background there. Right, well, anyway, we shall do one more, and then we'll probably end the episode. This is it's not particularly exciting to watch, I know, but this is the beginning of the game, and there's not a great deal to do. You basically have to just make some money, upgrade your machine, and you can take on better missions that require you to do a bit more than just either copy or delete a file. So we'll log into Broad Computers. We shall break that password. Give it all the juice, so that actually runs at a decent clip. All the juice, I said, if you don't mind. Obviously, the better the processor I have, the quicker this will actually run. So, file server, we need bro data 4827. 4827. There it is. Holy crap, that trace is done fast. Can we get this file downloaded any quicker? Disconnect. I wish it would reallocate the resources after I'm done, but as you can see, some places have a quicker trace than others, even if you use a large amount of jumps. Right, I'm going to save that and connect, and then go in and delete my logs so they can't find me. Let's make that move a little quicker. Don't really need the trace program for this. It's just taking up system resources. And there we go. Reply with the attached file, and done. We now have 5,900 credits. So when we get this one done, we'll have all of the money. So why not? We might as well just get it done before ending the episode. That's the Uplink public access server. Let's go from the internal services machine. This time we will need a trace tracker and the password breaker. Oh, come on, tick over quicker. File server, Unidata 45450. 45450. There we go. Shit, that trace is actually moving pretty quick. Let's get that downloaded. Done and out. No point sticking around. Let's load that. Connect to it. Get in there. Get the logs. Delete the logs. Although I don't know why it would require so much processing power to delete logs. Your guess is as good as mine. Can of course do it more than once. Obviously it slows it down, but done and done. Right. We shall reply with your file. And mission is complete. Now we can actually delete those two files. And done. We have no criminal record. We are a grade 3 uplink agent. We are neutral, and we have no awards. So what we can do now is we can upgrade our terminal, or our gateway, I should say. If we go to the Uplink internal services system, we can get hardware upgrades, we can get app upgrades. There's no point getting app upgrades because we need a better processor. And might actually have a look to see. No room for CPU upgrades and limited memory capacity. So we can't actually upgrade the CPU, so we're stuck with what we got. But we can get the alpha CPU for a CPU upgrade. Or we can save up for the gateway beta. But that requires 13,000, we only have 7. Obviously there's the alpha memory, but that's really pointless. I mean, you can have an extra GQ of bandwidth and double the memory, but you're still running off the one CPU, which is terrible. You can get some really nice. This one, 3 CPUs. Well, I was pretty sure you could upgrade the CPU, just replace it, but apparently not. It requires a slot to put it in. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, we shall figure that out later. But in the meantime, it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but this is Uplink. So I would like to thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think, or give me a suggestion for a game to play. This is just a one-off, maybe, unless people enjoy watching it. But other than that, if you enjoyed, you can leave a like. You can also share it around. It would help me out a great deal, and I very much appreciate the gesture if you did. And you can subscribe for more. And I shall see you all later.